Hi, John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. Thanks for joining me for the pursuit of Black Belt excellence. I want to first of all say thank you to my subscribers, my followers, those of you who have been a part of the Black Belt leadership community, our tribe of faithful individuals who have been subscribing and reading my blog. I've been publishing now for well over 2 years. Thank you for your faithfulness, for the feedback that I get, the positive words of encouragement that you guys share with me on a regular basis, the opportunity to have Q&A with some of you, to hear the questions and the thoughts that you're looking for answers to, and having the opportunity to respond back to you with those as I'm writing a weekly leadership blog. For those of you that may be having an opportunity to engage and connect with me for the first time, I want to introduce myself to you, but also let you know that each week I publish a weekly leadership blog. You can access it free of charge via my website, beablackbeltleader.com, and that can be delivered directly to your inbox. It's also posted to our Black Belt Leadership Facebook page and our LinkedIn pages, and all of our social media content and access to that can be found at beablackbeltleader.com. Many of you who've been reading my blog have been asking for a audio or video formatted teaching series that will bring these powerful leadership lessons that I teach every week, and to bring those in a format other than written text, so that as you're driving or engaging in other activities where reading is not possible, you've got an opportunity to learn these Black Belt leadership principles and begin to apply those in your life and have an opportunity to share that with others. So this is the intent of this particular video piece going forward. We're going to be taking content that we've previously done blogs on and additional content that we're speaking into in the leadership arena today and sharing those on a weekly basis with you. Now, for those of you who don't yet know who I am, let me take just a minute and introduce myself to you, share a little bit of my backstory, and then talk about leadership. Now, who am I? Again, my name is John Terry. I'm known as the Black Belt Leader. Why the Black Belt Leader? I'm a two-time Martial Arts Hall of Fame inductee. I have black belts in multiple martial arts systems. I'm the president of the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame and have led that organization since 2016. I am a master coach and trainer with real-life management in the area of behavioral intelligence. I'm an executive director and also currently serving as a President's Advisory Council member with the John Maxwell team. I'm a DISC certified human behavior consultant, and I'm the founder of Black Belt Leadership. What is Black Belt Leadership? It is a personal and professional development organization providing coaching and training to individuals and organizations. Lastly, I am the author of the #1 new release, March 2020, Black Belt Leadership 101, available at beablackbeltleader.com or on Amazon. That book stayed on the Amazon bestsellers list for 3 months and was actually the impetus for the new Black Belt Leadership Masterclass, a 10-hour training series where we do a deep dive into the 10 essential character qualities that every Black Belt leader should live out. Access to that training is also available on beablackbeltleader.com. Here you see me with my beautiful wife, Yuri. She and I have been married for 26 years. We have 6 kids, currently 3 dogs and a goldfish in the house, and several days of the week our 3 grandkids come to visit. Life is great, and it's a lot of fun, and I love what I'm doing, and I'm very, very passionate about Black Belt leadership. And I want to share a little bit of my backstory for those of you that have not had an opportunity to hear that, so you'll understand why this is so important to me. So here's my backstory. In 1974, my parents relocated from Fort Smith, Arkansas, the second largest city in the state at that time, to a small, quaint lakeside community called Russellville, Arkansas. Now, for me, I was excited about going from being a big city nobody to a small town somebody, and having an opportunity to not be one of 200 and some odd kids trying out for the football team, and maybe getting to play 1 series of downs in an entire season, and having an opportunity to see some success, make friends, and be in a smaller school environment where I wasn't going to simply be lost in the crowd. So we relocated to Russellville. I went to the new school, and sure enough, I became a small town somebody, the target of every bully in school. Now, after a couple of weeks of being bullied and complaining to my dad and mom that I wanted to go back to Fort Smith where I could be a nobody again, Dad said he was going to fix this. Well, my thought his dad's going to go talk to the principal. Principal's going to bring the bullies in. He's going to lay down the iron law, and this is going to be over. No, Dad had a different idea. And that idea literally changed the course of my life. And at that point in time, at the age of 13, I didn't realize the profound impact of Dad's decision that it would make on me and literally the thousands of lives that I've had the privilege to touch as a result. So what did my dad do? He took me downtown to the only martial arts school in Russellville, Arkansas at the time, and enrolled me in karate classes. I was all excited on the way there as Dad was telling me what we were going to do. And I remember watching the Green Hornet on TV, and I was thinking, I'm going to get to be Bruce Lee. And I walked in the door and realized I was the only kid in the school. Everybody there, to a small, scrawny, skinny, 13-year-old, soaking wet, 70-pound kid looking around at all these massive men, I'm thinking, I'm going to die. My dad is paying for me to get killed 3 nights a week so I don't have to get bullied at school. I could get beat up there for free, and my dad's paying for me to get beat up by these adults. I was terrified, and I wanted to go home. The instructor came, and he greeted me and told me what we were going to be learning. And as I'm looking around, he says, John, I don't want you to be concerned about all of these guys here. I realize they're a lot bigger than you are, and you're the only kid in the school, but it's going to be okay. I've got somebody your size that you can train with. Well, I breathed a sigh of relief. And then he pointed towards the back of the dojo, and there was this beautiful 23-year-old girl in the back of the room, just about my size. I thought, yeah, this is going to be good. Little did I know that she had come out of a very difficult marriage relationship and was there to learn to defend herself. So my dad was paying money for me to get beat up by a girl 3 nights a week. But it was there that as I learned to fight like a girl, I literally learned the self-defense strategies and tactics, and more importantly, the mindset of leading myself well that led to the bullying being stopped. And for me, that was an aha moment that I realized I didn't have to be a victim. And as I learned these leadership qualities that have been brought down generation to generation to generation, going all the way back to the ancient samurai and the 7 virtues of the Bushido, and these virtues and values and character qualities that are instilled into every martial arts system around the world, that became an aha moment for me. That I could live life as a black belt without having to fight everybody all the time. And as a result of that, my passion for the martial arts grew, and it was there that some of my first leadership lessons and leadership insights were formed. Now, I trained for a number of years and had an opportunity later on to leave that school and go off to college, and left the martial arts for a while, married and had some children. And when my youngest son decided he wanted to train in the martial arts, he was offered karate classes, interestingly enough, by one of my friends in high school, a young lady who was nicknamed Rocky. Her name was Rochelle, and she saw my son and wanted to do a give back for the time I had spent training with her as a partner years ago, and begin to teach my son the martial arts. Well, I came to watch, and the next thing I knew, I'm back in the martial arts again on the floor as a white belt, training alongside him in a new system. One of my other sons joined, my daughters joined, and the next thing we knew, it was a family affair. Because of prior training, I rose through the arts pretty quickly, and before I knew it, I had earned my very first black belt. And then it continued on, but even before earning my first black belt, I found myself teaching students. And not just teaching students, but opening my very first school to train a number of teens and preteens whose parents wanted the character qualities that I was living out and I was teaching in the classes that I was leading that they weren't getting from another instructor at the time. He got into some trouble and the school closed, and the parents came and approached me and a young man that we were teaching a class together and asked us if we would continue to teach their kids. So even before we opened or earned our first black belt, we opened our first school. We continued to train and earned our black belt and pursued black belt excellence in everything we did. But all of a sudden we realized that we were there for a greater purpose. this first black belt became another aha moment, because now we realized that we had the privilege and the opportunity and the responsibility to not only develop and cultivate these qualities in our own lives, but to be able to instill these same character values in the lives of these young students that we were training. Their parents were watching, and for many of them, it was their very first exposure to leadership. Because think about it, we didn't have leadership taught to us in elementary school, junior high, or high school, in most of the schools across the country. It wasn't taught to us in college for those of us that went there. Leadership was something that we either learned from a mentor, or we learned from a pastor or religious leader, or we learned through the reading of books, or we never learned at all. And sometimes the type of leadership lessons that we learned were not necessarily the best. But soon we had parents not just enjoying the leadership lessons that we were teaching, but enjoying what their kids were learning so much, they wanted to join in, and we began to expand our school to 1 location, and then 2, and then 3. It was amazing to see that opportunity and to continue to learn and grow as we begin to expand into other martial arts systems, learning and mastering other martial arts, and continuing to grow in our own personal growth and development so we could continue to stay ahead of the students that we were teaching. And then all of a sudden, the opportunity to take these character qualities, these leadership principles that we were teaching to our students, and corporations and organizations begin to ask us to teach those same principles to them. That was another aha moment in the fact that these very same principles and concepts that we learned as part of becoming a black belt in a martial arts system were life lessons that could create a mindset and a framework for which you could achieve black belt excellence in whatever it is that you did. Black belt excellence in your relationships, in your finances, in your career, in your mindset, in your emotions, in building your team, in growing an organization, in sales and marketing, communication, and more. This was another aha moment that led to the foundation of black belt leadership. And that's what we do today. We really focus on 3 key areas, although it's now expanded into 8 areas that we're developing, essentially 3 components, 8 areas of study. Let me take just a minute and talk about our 3 main focuses. Number 1 is communication. One of my personal mentors is Dr. John C. Maxwell, who is literally the foremost authority on leadership. And John has said in his books, and I've heard John say over and over again over the many years I've been with John, everybody communicates, but few connect. Now, helping people understand their unique communication style and how miscommunication takes place on a regular and consistent basis and how to fix that problem is essential to getting everybody singing from the same page on the songbook. Because when we are miscommunicating, that creates misunderstanding. And where there is confusion, action does not take place. Engagement does not move forward. Learning to communicate, whether it's at home with husband and wife, or parents and children, whether it's in a school setting with teachers and students, or with our peers in class, in a work or community environment, being able to effectively communicate what we want to say and make sure that it is understood as we're communicating it so that we come together is mission critical to the success of any organization. So becoming a black belt in effective communication is a must-do if you really want to accomplish great things in your personal and professional lives. Now, the second area that we focus on is in the area of leadership, and we get into leadership in a number of different areas because nobody really wants leadership, but everybody wants the benefits of leadership. But again, I love what my mentor John Maxwell says, everything rises and falls on leadership. And here's something I want you to think about. Anyone can lead, and in fact, everybody is leading someone somewhere right now. The question is, how well are you leading? Now, the answer to that question is twofold because it starts with how well you're leading yourself. because you can't lead others any more effectively than you are leading yourself. That creates the lid to your leadership. So becoming a black belt in leadership is essentially becoming a better version of yourself every single day. One of the things I learned early on in my martial arts career is that a black belt doesn't symbolize the end of the journey. In traditional martial arts, earning a black belt was nothing more than an acknowledgement by your senior instructor that you had now demonstrated the persistency, the dedication, and the commitment to being a serious lifelong student. The black belt was not a symbol that you had arrived and you were the guy or the gal and that you knew everything you needed to know. It was a symbol that you were now finally ready to learn. The mindset had been corrected. The behaviors had been corrected. The willingness to learn, the willingness to commit the time and effort and to focus daily on mastering those essential qualities necessary to advance through the ranks of the martial arts led to the giving of a black belt as a recognition it is now time to finally start training. And leadership is no different. If you think you've arrived as a leader, remember the words of Ray Kroc, the founder of the McDonald's franchising system. As long as you're green, you're growing. But once you're ripe, you start to rot. Now, the third area that we focus on at Black Belt Leadership is in the area of attitude. You know, according to Real Life founder Wayne Nance, 80% of the choices we make every day come from our attitude and our beliefs. We teach in Real Life Management what we call the ABCD model. Our attitudes and our beliefs shape our choices. And if our attitudes and our beliefs shape our choices, together that leads to our destiny. And if we look at the destiny that we're experiencing in our life right now, it's a result of our attitude and our beliefs and the choices that come from those two things. If we want a better destiny, we've got to change our attitude. We've got to change what we believe. That requires a shift in mindset, understanding behavioral intelligence, understanding emotional intelligence, and getting your mindset right is essential to becoming a black belt leader in life. You know, think about this. 85% of Americans at the end of their working career retire effectively broke. 67% of Americans are obese by CDC standards, and 56% of all marriages end in divorce. Attitude, beliefs, and choices are driving destinies that are leaving people suffering and struggling and not enjoying the quality of life that they can. When you reshape your mindset and you get your attitude and your beliefs right, guess what? You improve productivity, but more importantly, you end up with better relationships, you end up with a thinner waistline, and you end up with a fatter wallet. And at the end of the day, who doesn't want those three things? So at the end of the day, what do we focus on at Black Belt Leadership? The pursuit of a life of Black Belt excellence, becoming a better version of yourself. At the end of the day, what do we teach? We teach you how to master your life. And over the next several weeks, we're going to be bringing you a series of videos just like this, focusing on ways that you can master your life, to pursue black belt excellence in whatever area of leadership you find yourself in, whether you're leading yourself or you're leading others, whether you're wanting to grow personally or you're looking to have professional growth and development for a team. We're going to be bringing that teaching and that training to you. Now, you can also go to our website, beablackbeltleader.com, and have an opportunity to look at some of the additional tools and resources that we bring to bear. But I wanted to take a few minutes on the front end and allow you to understand a little bit of my backstory and why I am so passionate about this black belt leadership journey that I'm going to be taking you on. And I want you to get excited about that too, because inside of each and every one of you is a black belt leader waiting to be discovered, to be developed, and to be deployed to make a difference. If you want to live a life not just of success, but of significance, then you want to develop a mindset of black belt excellence in how you live. Don't let good enough be the enemy of being great at who you are and great at what you do. You can be a black belt leader in life when you learn to master your life. And over the next several weeks and months, we're going to be bringing a weekly video teaching just like this to you to give you an opportunity to master your life. I'm John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to having you continue on this Black Belt leadership journey along with me. We're going to have a great time, so buckle up, get ready, commit yourself to becoming a better version of you every single day, and we're going to grow, and we're going to get better, and we're going to make a difference. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.